Hello. How are you guys? Good afternoon. It's another episode of Lainy's Escape, where no concern is too small. Feeling better with greatness is truly the focus, but reality is a must. So let's keep it real. I'll be right back. Welcome back. I have been quite busy this season, but God has seen me through, and I just want to come on here today to say, I really do appreciate your support. I appreciate you. I am in a bit of a sunshine, so I hope you're seeing me. So yes, this afternoon, nothing scripted, just want to share with you how much God has been working through me, how much He has elevated my life. As you would have seen my testimonies going through depression and all of that, but God has been good. He has been wonderful, and I just want to publicly say thank you, Jesus, for taking me from a depressive state, a withdrawn state, to now being someone who is out there. I interact and I do not feel, like I am in a space where I am lonely. And I must say, this is all God. Because while going through depression, it was as if I could not be in a crowd. I could not find myself in a space where too many persons are. But thanks be to God, I am out and about and I am quite fine. I have restarted ministries, and I know that God is able to, see me through. This year, actually, I will be starting a new ministry, and I just want to say, to God be the glory. Great things He has done. I'll tell you a bit more about the ministry sometime in another episode. But for today, I just want to ask, how are you doing with this new year? The new year has started. We are in 2026. And sometimes we make promises to ourselves. Sometimes we set goals that are way too, high. And it's probable that you're thinking today that, boy, I failed in 2025 and my goals did not come through. But how are you feeling? For me, I honestly do not set New Year's resolution. I set daily goals and I work towards them. If they come through, hey, thanks be to God. If they do not, I just consider those to be things that the Lord did not want me to achieve in that time, or not at all. Sometimes we have plans, but it's really not the will of God for our lives. And so we ought to be mindful that when we make plans, when we set goals, we ought to place them in the hands of the man who still the waters, right? And so when we make our goals, we ask the Lord's directions. We ask, whether or not these are His requirements of us, whether or not this is really fulfilling God's purpose. But today I just want to thank God, because last year, or probably the year before, I wrote down some things that I need to get done. But top on my list was to draw closer to God, to be more vigilant in ensuring that my prayer life is up, my Bible study life is up. And yes, I have improved. But for me, I love to set high standards. I am one of those, yes, even though you hear me spoke about it just earlier. Yes, I am one of those who really like to set high standards. But the thing about it is I do not set them and beat upon myself to say if it does not come through, I am hurting or I'm disappointed, and if nothing like that. I set my goals, and if they do not come through, I consider that it's not yet the time. Yeah, so I'm not one of those persons who will say, boy, I wanted this for this year and I needed this to happen this year and it didn't happen and I'm so disappointed. No, I do not do that, because when you do that, you find that sometimes you hurt yourself, because you're there thinking, boy, I am X amount of years old and I should have achieved this or I should have achieved that. Who set those goals? Who decided that this should be the age when you achieve a particular thing? You know, and so, yes, we must be ambitious and we must, you know, strive towards better and improving ourselves. But my policy is work on yourself to be better versions of yourself each day, not to set some goals that are unachievable and, you know, really put you in a space where you are uncomfortable. You know, you're watching what Tom or Joe or Mary achieved at that age that you're at, and you're saying, boy, when Mr. Joe was X, he had 10 cars, he had a house, he had this, he had that, he was traveling the world. That might just not be your portion, and so you have to now seek directions from the Lord. Ask His directions and guidance in how to go about, you know, doing or achieving certain things. This is not to say you're not to have goals, guys, but this is to say that if you do set your goals, ensure, one, that God is in it, or you have handed your plans to the Lord. Secondly, ensure that if it does not come through in the time that you had written for it to come through, it doesn't mean you have failed. It means the Lord is saying, wait. It means that it is not yet time. Yeah? So for 2026, I'd like to encourage you to set your goals. If you are one of those persons who make New Year's resolution, have your bucket list and all of that ready. But if they do not come through, do not beat up on yourself. Thirdly, do not set too much of high standards where you are going to be disappointed in yourself if you do not achieve it. If you know that you are that type of person who, when you set a goal, it's not achieved, you are so upset that you spiral out of control, or you know, you are upset for days, months, you are beating upon yourself, you're telling everybody how you feel. No, ensure that you write down what it is you want to achieve, how it is you are going to achieve it, what do you need to achieve it, and then you work from there, and then you will have some better timelines. And if it doesn't come through, it still does not mean that you have failed. It just means that it is delayed a bit, it's not yet your time. Okay, so I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. We have come to the end of another episode of Lainy's Escape. I am just popping in to say again, be blessed for 2026, be productive, be intentional in setting your goals, be patient, in trials, in tribulations. Be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. And be loving and kind. Bless somebody today and walk good. God be with you. Peace out. Bless you all. Bye-bye.